Hello everyone, Nicholas here. There was a lot of tech news last week, so I'm going to divide the news roundup into two different videos. So here are tech stories from last week in case you missed it. Our first story comes from a February 18th article from Jessica Lyons at the Register. A new variant of Snake Keylogger is hitting Windows users in Europe and Asia. The Snake Keylogger is a Microsoft.NET data stealer that logs keystrokes, captures screenshots of users' desktops, captures clipboard data to steal passwords and credit card details. The new variant of Snake uses a basic-like scripting language called AutoIt to deploy itself, making detection difficult. More details on how this malware operates are contained in the article. A link is going to be in the description below. In a follow-up to the story I reported on last week from UK YouTuber Mr. H Reviews, February 21st from Derek B. Johnson at Cyberscoop writes, Apple pulls end-to-end encryption feature from UK after demands for law enforcement access. Last week, the UK government demanded Apple give them unfettered global access to their cloud storage. What Apple has instead done is pulled their advanced data protection feature from the UK. Advanced data protection provides end-to-end encryption through Apple's iCloud. ADP was a feature that users had to opt into, and as of now, that feature is unavailable for UK citizens going forward, meaning that it will be unavailable for newly purchased devices as well. For those who previously opted into the feature, those protections will be removed at a later date. This change won't affect data that is encrypted by default under Apple's standard data protection plan. Data for iMessage, FaceTime, iKeychain, or Health won't be affected. Certain kinds of metadata for iCloud backups are also encrypted under their standard protection plans. A comment from an Apple spokesperson states, quote, as we have said many times before, we have never built a backdoor or master key to any of our products or services, and we never will. End quote. Joseph Lorenzo Hall, a technologist for the Internet Society, weighed in with his opinion. Quote, in choosing to remove the feature rather than building a backdoor into its advanced data protection, Apple ensured that at least its global users would continue to benefit from the security and privacy of end-to-end encryption. However, for UK users, their government has ensured that their security and privacy is worse than ever before. End quote. Also from Derek Johnson, February 21st, House Energy and Commerce Chair Brett Guthrie and Vice Chair John Joyce issued a request for information seeking guidance on developing legislation to protect the digital data of Americans across a widening range of services. Guthrie and Joyce are part of a Republican committee working group on data privacy. The request includes questions on how to account for different roles and services that collect personal data, when a company should disclose the collection, processing, and transfer of user data, and what lessons could be learned from existing frameworks in other countries. The data collected from these questions will help craft potential legislation. It also questions how a comprehensive data privacy law might coexist with current privacy statutes. Now, we have several stories from Ravi Lakshmanan at the Hacker News in a February 18th article. Chinese state-backed threat actor Mustang Panda has been observed utilizing the legitimate Windows utility Microsoft Application Virtualization Injection tool to evade detection and maintain control over infected systems. The entire process involves multiple files. The first is a file named irsetup.exe. Included are legitimate files, including a PDF to distract the victim. The other is EA's own Origin Legacy CLI.exe file that sideloads a rogue DLL file that checks to see if two processes associated with ESET's antivirus software are running. If they are, it uses the waitfor.exe to run MAVInject.exe to run the malware on the targeted system without being flagged by the antivirus. Finally, the malware creates an SSH connection to a remote server that acts as a command and control hub for the infected computer, facilitating the moving and deleting of files. Cybersecurity researchers are talking about FrigidStealer, a new malware for Apple's macOS. This new malware is attributed to previously undocumented threat actor TA2727, who is also connected to InfoStealer's LumaStealer and DeerStealer for Windows and Marcher for Android. This campaign leverages web injects to deliver its payload. Like similar threat actor TA569, the malware is distributed via websites with compromised JavaScript website injects that mimic browser updates. However, TA2727's malware is different depending on the user's browser, device, and geographical location. FrigidStealer requires permission to run from the user of the infected Apple device. This allows it to bypass Apple's gatekeeper protections. FrigidStealer is much like other InfoStealer malware. It leverages AppleScript to prompt users to enter their system password, giving the malware elevated privileges so that it can steal sensitive information stored in browsers, Apple Notes, and crypto apps. Cybersecurity researchers have identified a malware campaign aimed at e-commerce sites that run Magento. This malicious content is disguised within image files of the HTML code to stay undetected. MageCard is the name of this malware and can steal users' sensitive payment information through serving a fake form or by capturing it in real time. In the context of coding, when a website tries to load an image and fails, a website will typically handle the error and show a broken image icon. With MageCard, when the Onerror event occurs, it triggers the execution of JavaScript that launches the malware. Magento is an open source e-commerce platform written in PHP. The Magento source code is available under the open software license. Magento was initially released March 31st of 2008 and was later acquired by Adobe in May of 2018. February 22nd, cryptocurrency exchange Bybit reports that a sophisticated attack had led to the theft of $1.46 billion worth of Ethereum from one of their cold wallets, making it the single largest crypto heist in history. In a post on X, Bybit stated, quote, "The incident occurred when our Ethereum multisig cold wallet executed a trade to our warm wallet. Unfortunately, this transaction was manipulated through a sophisticated attack that masked the signing interface, displaying the correct address while altering the underlying smart contract logic. As a result, the attacker was able to gain control of the affected Ethereum cold wallet and transfer its holdings to an unidentified address." End quote. In a separate post, Bybit CEO Ben Zhou stated that all other cold wallets have not been affected. While it hasn't been confirmed by Bybit, Elliptic and Arkham Intelligence have confirmed that the theft was perpetrated by the Lazarus Group. The Lazarus Group is a North Korean hacker group that has been operating since 2009. Since then, the group has operated under different names. February 21st, OpenAI revealed that it has banned accounts that were trying to use ChatGPT as an AI-powered surveillance tool. Quote, "The social media listening tool is said to likely originate from China and is powered by one of Meta's Llama models, with the accounts in question using the AI company's models to generate detailed descriptions and analyze documents for an apparatus capable of collecting real-time data and reports about anti-China protests in the West and sharing the insights with Chinese authorities." End quote. The campaign has been codenamed peer review by researchers for the network's promoting and reviewing surveillance tooling. They also added that the tool is designed to ingest and analyze posts and comments from social media platforms. In one instance, threat actors used ChatGPT to debug and modify source code that's believed to run monitoring software referred to as Qianyu Overseas Public Opinion AI Assistant. This isn't the only time that OpenAI has disrupted people abusing ChatGPT for malicious reasons. From Deputy Editor James Coker at Info Security Magazine, according to a Netscope report, Telegram is being used as a command and control channel for a Golang malware variant. The malware, which appears to be of Russian origin, acts as a backdoor. While still under development, it seems to be fully functional. Netscope will continue monitoring how this Golang malware develops. Using cloud apps for command and control is becoming ideal because attackers don't have to set up any infrastructure and it's difficult to distinguish from legitimate activity. From contributing writer Robert Lemos at Dark Reading, February 21st, countries are creating data embassies. The idea behind data embassies are to protect critical sovereign data from cyber and physical threats. For any gamers who might be listening, if this sounds familiar, the idea was floated in the game Deus Ex Mankind Divided. The Palisade Bank was a highly sophisticated quote unquote bank that offered safe deposit box services as well as a massive data repository with advanced and aggressive physical and digital security measures. In 2017, Estonia secured a deal with the government of Luxembourg to host their data in a facility that, quote, shall be inviolable and thus exempt from search, requisition, attachment, and execution, end quote. Monaco inked a similar deal with Luxembourg in 2021. In 2018, the King of Bahrain introduced legislation for the creation of data embassies, and now India has opened up negotiations with Singapore and the United Arab Emirates to host their data in facilities located in special economic zones. The idea behind data embassies is similar to how embassies or diplomatic missions currently work. The embassy or facility is constructed in the host country, but the guest country maintains sovereignty over the embassy and are subject to that country's laws. Moving on to Security Week, from Inuit ArcHire, February 17th, a new post-exploitation malware kit is targeting Windows and Linux and using Microsoft Outlook as its communications channel. The kit includes a loader, a backdoor, and various modules for additional post-exploitation operations. The kit, dubbed PathLoader, Elastic Security Labs is tracking this malware campaign as it has targeted the foreign ministry of an unnamed South American country. Elastic's researchers have also found connections to compromises in Southeast Asia. PathLoader is a lightweight Windows executable designed to fetch and execute shellcode from a remote server and includes sandbox evasion capabilities. The backdoor, called Final Draft, can execute a number of commands, exfiltrate data, and inject code into processes. It uses Microsoft's Outlook's Graph API for communication purposes. For the communication loop, it creates an email session draft, then reads and deletes command request emails from the command and control server, processes those commands, and writes responses as email drafts. Elastic's analysis of the malware has revealed 37 command handlers, most of which are based around process injection, file manipulation, and network proxy functionality. The Linux version of Final Draft supports more transport protocols, but has fewer features than the Windows variant. Also from Inuit ArcHire, Microsoft is reporting Storm 2372, a Russian-linked threat actor, has been engaging in a device code phishing campaign targeting organizations in the IT, defense, telecom, health, education, and energy sectors, as well as NGOs in North America, Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. How the device code phishing attack works is that the threat actor asks a targeted service to generate a device code and convinces the victim to enter the device code on a legitimate sign-in page. The targeted service then generates an access token that the attacker can recover and abuse the target accounts and data. The threat actor can use the access tokens to access victims' email and cloud storage without a password. Victims are likely being targeted through third party messaging apps like Signal, WhatsApp, and Microsoft Teams through the social engineering technique known as spear phishing. The attacker will try to establish a rapport with the victim and then send invites to events or online meetings. Storm 2372 also infiltrates victims' email through the Microsoft Graph API and does a keyword search of their inboxes. February 18th from Kevin Townsend, AI security specialist Pangea has added AI Guard and Prompt Guard to its existing suite of corporate generative AI security products. AI Guard is designed to prevent the leakage of sensitive data from generative AI, while Prompt Guard defends against prompt engineering, preventing jailbreaks. The threat behind malicious prompt engineering is that attackers use phrase prompts in such a way as to extract sensitive data or data that can be used in a harmful manner. Prompt Guard analyzes human and system prompts to detect and block jailbreak attempts or limit violations. AI Guard is designed to prevent data leakage. It's meant to block malicious and undesirable content like hate speech, violence, and profanity. It will examine prompt inputs, responses, and data ingestion from external sources to detect and block malicious content such as malicious URLs, attempts to input false information, malware, and prevent the release of PII or personally identifiable information. Next, we move on to Bleeping Computer. We have two gaming related stories, both from Bill Toulis. February 18th, cracked versions of Gary's mod, BeamNG Drive, and Dyson Sphere program have been trojanized as a part of the Starry Dobry malware campaign. A laced laced Beam NG mod was reportedly the initial access vector for a hack at Disney back in June 2024. Kaspersky reports that the Starry Dobry campaign began back in December and ended on January 27th, and mostly affected users in Germany, Brazil, Belarus, Russia, and Kazakhstan. The threat actors uploaded the infected files to torrent sites in September of 2024 and triggered the payloads during the holidays, reducing the risk of detection. Once the game is installed, the malware installs in the background. It displays highly evasive behavior as it checks to see if it's being run on a virtual machine, sandbox, or if a debugger is running. It collects information on the CPU, GPU, RAM, OS version, and country of the computer in question, and it sends those details back to a command and control node. The loader poses as a Windows system file, engages in resource spoofing to appear legitimate, creates a scheduled task to persist between reboots, and if the CPU has at least 8 cores, it downloads and runs the XMRig miner. XMRig miner mines the privacy coin Monero. Monero is a cryptocurrency that is built with privacy enhancing technologies. Observers cannot decipher addresses trading Monero. However, once the owner tries to convert it to another cryptocurrency, does the cryptocurrency loses anonymity. Also from Bill Toulis, February 22nd, threat actors are exploiting Counter-Strike 2 tournaments to defraud gamers and steal their Steam accounts and cryptocurrency. Bitdefender Labs identified a streamjacking campaign. Streamjacking is a social engineering campaign where people will hijack YouTube accounts. In this case, the campaign works through Steamjacking, where hijacked YouTube accounts are rebranded under popular Counter-Strike players like Simple, Dunk, Nico, or other professional players, and offering Counter-Strike 2 skins or cryptocurrency. To further the deception, loops of old gameplay footage are played with links to or QR codes to malicious sites. Victims are then prompted to use their Steam credentials to log in and claim their gift or send crypto with the promise of receiving double the amount. Victims will find that items and skins have been stolen from their accounts, and sent cryptocurrency makes its way to attacker-held wallets. In a February 18th Malwarebytes blog entry, Pieter Arntz writes, someone purchased a batch of 15 gigabyte hard drives at a flea market. During a routine check of the contents, the individual had discovered that contained on the hard drives was medical information for hundreds of patients. Further investigation led it to the Netherlands, where it had been discovered that the hard drives came from a company that provided software for the medical industry. Under Dutch law, media with medical data must be professionally erased with certification or have them professionally destroyed. I have another link to a Malwarebytes blog entry regarding the rise of cybersecurity incidents within the healthcare industry. This might be a smaller incident when compared to ransomware attacks on the medical profession, but it's an alarming trend on how the healthcare industry is so vulnerable to data theft. A link to that blog post will be in the description, as well as on my Facebook and Minds pages. And that's it for this video. Be on the lookout for part 2 of tech videos from last week. Definitely check out my Facebook or Minds page as the links to other to the other malware blog entry regarding vulnerabilities in the healthcare industry, as well as an in-depth article about how phished information turns into Apple and Google wallets. And with that, all the links to the full articles and links to my social media are in the description. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.